Everyone, it's Derek from At the Edge of the Woods, and in today's video, we just wanted to go over some of the things you should know before you get backyard chickens. So the first thing you should know is your local ordinances. If you live in a city, you might have to comply with certain ordinances or rules. There might be animal control policies that you need to be aware of. Typically, this is limited to the number of chickens you're able to raise and if roosters are allowed or not. So those are definitely things you'll want to look into if you're considering getting backyard chickens. And if you live somewhere with an HOA, you definitely want to be aware of what the rules are so you don't get yourself into trouble. The second thing that you should know is what type of chicken do you want? So as you can see behind me here, I've got 4 chickens, 2 lavender Orpingtons, and 2 cinnamon queens. The lavender Orpingtons are a breed that Cindy and I are familiar with. We raised buff Orpingtons. Buff and lavender are just the color. Orpington is the breed. We raised several Orpingtons in the city, and now that we moved out into a little patch of land, we wanted to keep raising Orpingtons because we're familiar with them and we find them to be a good breed for us. The other two are cinnamon queens. They are a little bit different. They're a hybrid kind of chicken. They are a little bit lighter and smaller bird. They lay a lot more eggs. At least that's what we've been informed so far. And they don't generally live as long. But knowing what type of chicken you want, researching and seeing what type of chicken is good for what. Do you want a chicken that's going to lay you lots of eggs? Do you want a chicken that you're going to be able to eat for meat, or a combination? The third thing you should be aware of is how long chickens live. So the cinnamon queens here should live somewhere between 5 and 10 years, and the Orpingtons can live up to 12 or 15. And so it really is just kind of dependent on how well they're taken care of and genetics, those types of things. But generally speaking, you can expect your backyard flock to live 7+ years if you're just getting egg chickens. So something to really be aware of because egg production really does drop off after the first couple of years. So these guys should be laying pretty good for the next 2 or 3 years, and then we should see a little bit of a drop off in production after that, and then pretty steep drop off in production as they get a little bit older. So you need to have a plan for that. Are you going to have chickens as pets? Are you going to get a breed that is a dual purpose, like an Orpington? So when they stop laying eggs, you have a plan for that. And and that leads me into the fourth thing is what is your plan for the end of life for your chickens? Are you going to butcher them and turn them into stew and chicken meat, or are you going to keep them as pets? Or are you going to give them to a farm or a sanctuary somewhere? But this is one thing that I think a lot of backyard chicken owners don't think about. I know we didn't when we first got chickens, and we got chickens, very excited to have our own little flock in the backyard, and then started thinking, okay, well, now that they're not laying as much, what do we do? You just keep adding to your flock until you've got 20 chickens, but only 4 laying at a time. Something to think about as they get older. And another thing to think about is the cost. So the chickens themselves, when they're babies, they cost a few dollars, maybe 10 or 15, depending on the breed you're getting. But you have to consider, are you getting a coop? Are you building a run? Do you have space already? What is the plan for them once you get them home? You can't put them outside right away in most cases because you're raising chicks that you've purchased from the store. They need to be kept warm. So you need space in your house or your garage or an outdoor space that's heated so that they can continue to be well cared for. So thinking about your backyard chickens, think about those things. What are the local ordinances? What type of chicken do I want? What am I going to do when they stop laying eggs? what am I going to do at the end of their life? And then finally, thinking about the cost. So those are all really important things to think about as you begin your backyard chicken journey. Uh, None of those things should prohibit you. I think owning chickens is really fun, and once you get a setup created, it's really easy to manage them. I think they're a pretty low maintenance animal, and so I would consider and recommend chickens to anybody who's thinking about it. I think they're really great animals to have around. From our corner at the edge of the woods, thanks for watching. If you like this visit, please like, subscribe, and consider leaving a comment. Even planting a little tree in the comments helps our forest keep growing.